The dust from the shattered ranking stone had not yet settled when the first scream broke the stillness. It came from one of the younger disciples, a boy no older than 16, who stared at the scattered fragments embedded across the arena floor, as if they might suddenly crawl back together and accuse him personally. "It exploded," he whispered. No one corrected him. The word felt too small for what had happened, but no one present possessed the courage or, perhaps, the vocabulary to replace it. Lin Hao stood in the center of the arena, brushing faint stone powder from his sleeve, with an expression that suggested mild inconvenience rather than catastrophic metaphysical failure. His rubber chicken weapon dangled loosely at his side, occasionally releasing an absent-minded squeak as it swayed. "I barely touched it," he said, glancing toward the nearest elder. "Is that thing insured?" The elder in question, Master Q Ren, was one of the arena's senior adjudicators, a man who had personally supervised thousands of ranking ceremonies across 4 centuries. He had watched prodigies rise, legends fall, and once witnessed a demonic cultivator transform into a cloud of locusts during testing. None of those experiences prepared him for this. Master Q stared at the fragments glittering across the arena, his thin lips trembling. "The ranking stone," he said slowly, "was carved from the heart rock of the first mountain." No one interrupted him. They were afraid to. "It has survived heavenly lightning, abyssal corrosion, and the collapse of 2 dynasties. It has measured saints, tyrants, and once a reincarnated dragon prince who attempted to cheat using ancestral memory seals." He swallowed. "It has never," he whispered, "refused to function." Lin Hao scratched the back of his neck. Maybe it had performance anxiety. A faint choking noise escaped one of the attendants. It was unclear whether he was laughing or suffocating under existential pressure. Above them, the system flickered uncertainly, its interface reappearing in fragments like broken reflections on water. "System diagnostic measurement failure logged. User evaluation. Status: undefined. Recommended action. Recalibration attempt." The Grandmaster's head snapped upward. "No," he croaked immediately. Several elders nodded in violent agreement. "Yes," the system responded, clearly ignoring them. The air shimmered as motes of golden light began drifting toward the arena center, drawn from each shattered fragment of the ranking stone. The pieces trembled, lifting slightly from where they had landed. Lin Hao raised a hand cautiously. "Should it be doing that?" "Absolutely not," Master Q whispered. The fragments converged slowly, rotating through the air as invisible forces pulled them together. However, instead of reforming into the familiar rectangular slab, they assembled into something less stable. The stone attempted to rebuild itself. The stone failed. The fragments hovered in a loose cluster, edges misaligned, surfaces glitching between solid stone and flickering translucent script. Symbols crawled across them, rearranging themselves in frantic patterns, as if the stone were desperately attempting to rewrite its own operating logic. The system chimed again, louder this time. "System notice, emergency reconstruction initiated. Warning. Legacy artifact integrity compromised." The floating cluster pulsed once. Then it spoke, not in words, in impressions. Every cultivator in the arena felt it simultaneously, overwhelming sense of confusion, like waking from a dream and realizing the dream was still trying to explain itself. Lin Hao blinked. Did the rock just sigh? Master Q grabbed his sleeve. "Do not antagonize it," he hissed, voice trembling. "The ranking stone is semi-strength. It records the will of the heavens themselves." The hovering fragments flickered violently. Symbols stabilized briefly, forming a readable projection above the cluster. Subject: Lin Hao. Cultivation rank: 0. The crowd exhaled in collective relief. Then the text glitched. The star symbol stretched, duplicated, then dissolved into a spiraling pattern of unfamiliar glyphs. New data scrolled across the projection. Potential rating: infinity. Threat level: unspecified existence. Classification: error. Supplementary tag: culinary hazard. Lin Hao frowned. "That last one feels judgmental." The projection scrambled again. Several icons flashed rapidly, none belonging to any known cultivation scale. A steaming cup appeared, then a stylized chicken drumstick. Then, disturbingly, a blinking question mark that seemed to be sweating. Master Kaiu's face turned a concerning shade of gray. "This is blasphemy," he whispered. The cluster convulsed. A high-pitched tone echoed across the arena as the fragments attempted to stabilize. Lines of energy lashed between them, forming temporary structures that collapsed almost immediately. The system began broadcasting warnings faster than they could be read. "System alert, legacy artifact, Approaching critical recursion, probability of conceptual collapse, rising suggested user distance. Immediate Lin Hao stepped backward politely. Good call, he said. The fragments shuddered once more. Then, unexpectedly, they aligned. For one breathtaking moment, the shattered pieces formed a perfectly symmetrical sphere, glowing with soft, golden light. The symbols across its surface slowed, settling into a steady, readable display. Final evaluation attempt, the arena fell silent. Every cultivator leaned forward unconsciously, desperate for clarity. Any clarity, the sphere pulsed. Subject assessment, physical potential, limitless spiritual capacity, unbounded destiny, alignment, undefined narrative, placement, not found. The final line lingered. Then a new sentence appeared beneath it. Recommendation, do not interact. The sphere cracked. A shockwave rippled outward, gentle but absolute. It extinguished every active formation in the arena, silenced every artifact, and extinguished several elders' defensive talismans simultaneously. The fragments collapsed, dropping harmlessly to the ground. They did not attempt to reform again. Master Q staggered backward, clutching his chest. It refused, he murmured. The 9-star Grand Master stared at Lin Hao with something dangerously close to reverence and terror. The stone, he said hoarsely, has judged emperors. It has recorded heavenly mandates. It has never refused to record a name. Lin Hao shifted awkwardly under the sudden attention. Maybe it's full. No one laughed. Above them, the system dimmed again, as if exhausted. System update, user evaluation, deferred future measurement attempts, permanently disabled advisory. Please stop breaking foundational artifacts. Lin Hao raised his hands defensively. I'm not trying to. Far above the arena, the sky rippled. Invisible to mortal sight, ripples of divine observation expanded outward. In distant mountain ranges, sealed sect vaults opened on their own, revealing ancient scrolls that began rewriting themselves. In forgotten ruins, statues cracked as forgotten prophecies shifted to accommodate a new variable. In heaven, the emergency assembly grew louder. Lin Hao, blissfully unaware of cosmic bureaucracy, glanced at the scattered stone pieces and crouched slightly, picking up one of the smaller fragments. It was warm. The surface shimmered faintly beneath his fingers, displaying flickers of data too fragmented to read. He turned it over thoughtfully. Huh, he murmured. Still works a little. The fragment squeaked softly. Lin Hao blinked. The squeak sounded familiar. He glanced at the rubber chicken still dangling from his hand. It remained silent, though its molded eyes seemed suspiciously pleased. He looked back at the stone fragment. It squeaked again. Master Q made a strangled noise. Please, put it down. Lin Hao placed it gently back on the ground. Sorry, he said. The fragment immediately stopped glowing. The arena remained frozen in uneasy silence until a distant horn blast shattered the tension. One long note, then another. Every sect representative present stiffened simultaneously. The summoning horns, the Grand Master whispered. Lin Hao looked around. That sounds important. Master Q nodded slowly, dread pooling behind his eyes. It means, he said carefully, the major sects have been notified, as if summoned by his words. The sky darkened not with storm clouds, but with banners. Massive, radiant symbols materialized across the heavens, each representing one of the 5 grand sects of the continent of eternal skies. Their emblems burned like miniature suns, casting colored light across the arena floor. Azure flames, silver lotuses, black thunder sigils, crimson sword crests, and at the center of them all, a radiant golden phoenix that shimmered with authority. Cultivators across the arena dropped to their knees again, this time out of instinct rather than fear. Lin Hao watched the sky, unimpressed but mildly curious. Are they here to fix the rock? He asked. Master Q swallowed. They are here, he said, because they believe you might break something far more important. The banners pulsed once, then beams of descending light pierced the clouds. Reinforcements had arrived. The system flickered faintly beside Lin Hao, displaying a final message before dimming to standby. System notice: major faction interest confirmed, reputation status. Catastrophically famous. Lin Hao sighed. That doesn't sound relaxing. Above him, 5 descending figures approached the arena, each radiating power vast enough to reshape landscapes with a casual gesture, and every single one of them was staring directly at him.